I'm sure this is not the future we all want for our kids and for the students we teach. But it is somehow what a lot of parents think about integrating technology in learning and teaching. I wanted to change not only some parents' viewpoint, but also to change the way we interact with primary schools, being from universities. This is what I have done with 4 students, which actually are in the 6th semester, but that time they were in the 4th semester, and I tried to motivate them to write a paper together after we have done some research and have collaborated with a primary school in Germany. So I am the first one, Dagmar, and the other all are still students, undergraduate students. Our first or our big motivation is or was to try to bring children to the software development process. They are still the last level, or the last, how do you name this in English, the last part of the change in the software development process. So a lot of industry partners, schools, etc., develop software for kids. However, they don't take into account what kids want, what kids think about the programs that are developed for them. And we wanted to bring the children first to the university settings where they can interact, where they can have some view about the university and work together with students, but also to try to have their opinion about software specially developed for them. And on the other side, we wanted to we wanted to develop software programs in the courses I teach in computer science, software engineering. We wanted to have real situations, real customers, so that the students have another vision about what they will do in the future in enterprises, developing software for customers. So we wanted to bring this experience, real customers, and in this case, primary schools and children they will interact with. Our long-term goal is to deepen the relationship, the collaboration, primary schools, universities. This was in the talks that we have already have one situation. So how can we motivate teachers to use technology if we are in 2 different worlds? So this was also some motivation for us. How can we develop technology? How can we develop software that help teachers in their teaching? And how can we work together? So not only for children, but also aim to collaborate with teachers so that they can use or they can learn how to use technology better. I will talk then about these topics, so some general view about the global perspective, so which kind of initiatives they are already known, and also about the local, what we have done till now. Then I will talk about our joint software engineering experience, joint primary school, university, together, children, students, undergraduate students, and then at the end, what lessons we have learned. The global initiatives. So there are a lot of initiatives to bring students to increase the exposure of children to computer science. And we all know there is a big need not only jobs that are requiring these skills, computer scientists, or dealing with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics topics, but also to try to increase the exposure of children to this technology of the future. And one of them is the Hour of Code, which had only 1 month ago 101 million participants, 10 million more in just 1 month. So it is a global initiative where they say every student can, in every school, have the opportunity to learn computer science. The question is how to do this more the normal case. In Germany, there are also initiatives in this regard. Our main initiative, similar to STEAM, so MENT, the terminology in German, aims also to reduce this existing gap in STEAM areas. There are also a lot of different projects that are developed together with schools. And this is one MENT or one STEAM initiative more, what we have done at the university. The special case of the children universities is one of 10. The idea is that professors give lectures to children. The idea is also to bring children to the university. The first one in UK, for example, in 1993. The first one in Germany in 2002. The first one in the primary school we have worked with was 7. And today it is almost a normal case. Every year in Germany, at least thousands of children participating across Germany in different STEAM projects, but also in different children universities, which don't necessarily have to do with STEAM, but also with other topics. The local experience, our personal experience, well, 2013, I borrowed some IBO-legged robots from the Humboldt University, and I brought them to the school to show the children, for example, differences between toys and robots. What are robots? What can they do? What are their characteristics, etc. There was also opportunity for the kids to work, to play with robots, to program some movements, to draw, to see some videos of this Robocop league. And I had some impressions from this first experience. One of them was the so-called technophobia. So it is true that the girls don't want to have anything to do with technology, or it is some general impression or some misconception some people have. And look at the body language. So how do the male students react or interact with technology? And look at the body language of the girls. It was very shocking for me, because I was I'm come from computer science, and I thought, okay, so I am a girl or I am a woman, so maybe this facilitates somehow, but just the body language is something different. My impression was that this also depends on the activity that is done, and also on the instructor. So I had other activities, for example, drawing some things, and look at the body language of the girls. So they are more, in some way, more active, or the presence when drawing is standing up, and it is not the case of the boys. Can we try to define activities for girls that are more engaging. Also, for bringing more girls to technology, maybe it has something to do with that. The joint experience at the university. So I thought, if in 1 year I want to come again to the school, then I have to plan in one year in advance what we should do with kids. And this was starting on this experience from 2013. So I thought next year something similar with technology, and let's see how can we do and what can I do with my students and not only me. So this was the idea to insert this service learning or development software for children in my courses in computer science. And it was in one Agile course, so software engineering methodologies that try to develop faster, efficiently, customer-related, basically also favoring interactions between individuals, etc., in an Agile manner. And it is a lab where the students have to develop some software, but also have to take care of software development processes, etc., in this case, Agile. So this is part of the new content they learn, but they develop at the same time something for the community. So this was the idea. And basically it was student-centered, so it was also team-oriented work. It was with my coaching, project-based, 11 different teams of students, more or less, 4, 3, 5 students in each team. And the topic was, okay, one Sudoku program for children. I know everybody knows Sudoku, so this is nothing they have to learn, only the techniques on how to apply Agile. And the topic is this one, but it is for children, and we will use this next year in the children university. So they had this goal in mind. So it is not a software which will be at the end of the course not used at all, but it is something that it will be used in 1 year. So this was some extra motivation to the students. This was in the course the summer 2013 after the Children University, and 1 semester later, still some of the students had interest in working further in this area. So software development for children especially, but also in the mobile environment. And this was the opportunity to give some topics for student research work, where I am the supervisor. It is not an entire group, but small groups that they can, where they can opt for working with one professor or another, and they came to me, we want to continue in this topic, software for children now in mobile devices, and this was the idea. So I suggested to take the 11 programs we had in our course and to evaluate all the 11 programs to try to find a baseline for developing the mobile application. And this was part of the research. So they evaluated the programs. I have here some of the topics so that I don't forget anything. For example, which programming languages was used? It was free. So one of the topics was which programming languages was used by the 11 teams? How can we benefit in the mobile application from what it was already programmed? Or memory usage, etc. from the algorithm, or number of classes when object-oriented programmed. Also, algorithm time for solving Sudokus. It should be fast, so the kids should not be boring waiting for the program to have a solution, etc. Or which kind of information is there. It is for children. It is the size and the type of the text adequate for children, which kind of mascots are used. It is a possibility for children to change something from the program so that they can also have a good impression of the programs, etc. So they evaluated all the programs and selected which are then the main features or the main characteristics the new program should have. And then they started to build or to develop a new application. In mind was also that at the Children's University, the children should test the programs. And this is the case where we bring the children and incorporate them into this development cycle. So not only at the end, is this program okay for you? Do you like it, etc.? But in the middle of the change, so that students can have this input, this feedback to better program or to adapt the software they are constructing for children. And this was our experience. So in the Children's University 2014, at the beginning it was a big meeting at the school, and then I took children to go to the university, and this was the first time. Actually, the original goal of the Children's University is to bring children to the university to have real lectures with real professors. They then evaluated the 11 programs, but also the mobile application. There were 14 children and especially 2 female and 12 male. So still the decision, I want to go to this topic, was at the beginning a shock. Nobody want to come. It depends on which is the title of the project. Some children came. It is testing software programs. We can play with these programs. I want to go. And this was not what girls expected. So maybe we have to also change the way we present all these things to the children so that they can also have another interaction with technology. 2 or 3 hours and no technophobia at all. So it depends on the instructor. So I tried not to leave behind the girls, but to include them in all activities and look at the face of the boy at the end. So he wanted to do something, but he couldn't. So the girls were very engaged, and this was very positive. We had different stations in the lab where the children could test the programs distributed in our computer science lab at the university. We had also some support from the former students that developed the programs for the children, and we tried to evaluate both programs, or to give the children the possibility to evaluate the programs in simple questionnaires. So they evaluated the desktop applications, trying to mark some stars, how they liked the program, if it was possible to change something, if they understood the task, etc., etc. And also, well, which kind of mascot do you like it more, etc. And this way, so PC stations where the children play with the software, but also evaluate at the end, give feedback about these programs they have already used. Also for the mobile applications, so they could also evaluate at the end. This is in German, but it's more or less the same. So how did they interact with the application, the language used, etc., etc., and was the possibility for the students to get feedback to improve the software product they were developing. The discussion or results, well, all children evaluated the application. However, the girls were more motivated. They took more seriously this task as testers of the programs. Some of the boys don't wanted to evaluate to programs. They said, Sudoku is boring, we want to play other games. And all were highly focused, but there were differences. How do boys and girls interact with technology? And this was what the children liked the most. Easy, the colors, contrast, etc. So a lot of different feedback for the students trying to develop further. And I come to the lessons that we have learned. We can find more on the article. First thing is we faculty should make the first move. So we have students, we have more people, eventually more resources, and we should try to go to the primary schools and to ask, what do you need? Can we collaborate? It is easier than the other way around. They can be real partners. They can give also real projects that our students can work with or at. And this is a very beneficial experience for our students or for students at university to have this service learning, to do something for the community. This is a necessity, not at the end, developing software for children, but also how do children want? What do children think about the software, about the technology they are using? But also involving more girls and trying to find better ways to involve girls, because stereotypes, etc., are well known, and the gap is increasing. And we need also girls, and most of the times depend on the instructor and on the activities we choose, on the parents too. Rotating children, giving them the choice of selecting which software to test, etc. It was very beneficial, so nothing planned, but you have the freedom to choose, etc. was very positive, and they expressed their opinions very, very freely and honest. And this is what we want to from people evaluating software programs. Secondary activities beforehand, so I told the two boys that didn't want to evaluate more, okay, you can play with other software programs, but this was disrupting for other children that were taking very seriously what they were doing. So we have to think also on other activities beforehand. And this was the first move. One semester later, there were 7 different projects from the school. So they wanted more collaboration, and we had more students working together with the primary school. Essential or most important topics I have talked about are depicted here in this figure. You can find more in the article, and we have reached our goal, so to bring children to the university, to foster the partnership primary school, university, and maybe this is one solution to the last question we had for the break. How can we change the mindset or the teachers that don't interact with technology? Maybe bringing students or doing things together that try to close this reaction or first, no, I don't want to use technology in my teaching, or I have some fear of using technology in our teaching.